There we go. Good evening. Hello, Eli Webber. How are you?
Hi, Aaron. Very well, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me on my new platform. I'm very excited to have you. What you're saying is music to my ears, and so many. You have such a great family you've built here on your channel. Um, Such a fantastic community. I think you are one of the independent journalists, IJs, I call them IJ, IJ, because we can't really say truther, right? If we're all seeking the truth, right? You're one of my favorite independent journalists because I really think you are hitting so much on the head on keeping a balance of what's going on, but what do we do? I keep hearing myself saying, just do the next thing. Be like Noction. I mean, I'm saying, don't look back. Don't be like Lot's wife. You can turn into a pillar of salt. You say these things enough, and they are very, very helpful to me and to many, many people, as we could see, in your whole community. So thank you again. Welcome. And please tell me a little bit about what you want to talk about with your channel, where we are today, how we should be moving forward minute by minute.
Well, I think the main thing to understand, and this may seem like a foreign concept, but it's really not, is that we're heading for the Great Awakening. We're heading for the greatest time period that humanity has ever experienced. This is, paralleled in like Jewish tradition. They call it the age of the Messiah, of Mashiach.
Mhm.
So it fits in. It's a biblical time, but we're really coming into our own power as humanity. And even though it looks like on the surface of things, it looks horrific. It looks like
Right.
everything's falling apart, but I really see it falling together. I think we're falling up,
Yeah.
and it's just a matter of staying focused and aligning with your divine purpose, figuring out what you're really about, what you really enjoy doing, and just doing it. I think
That's right.
it's that simple.
I think so too. And another of these independent journalists I was just mentioning a few minutes ago said also that's the important thing. It's the now. So like as a photographer, videographer, I have the analogy of it's almost like exactly what you want, you have to shoot. So just if craziness is going on, focus on what is good. Focus on you're alive. I have my health. I have a roof over my head. You focus, so it's gratitude and focusing in the moment on what you want more of. So pretend you have to create more of what you want. So you're kind of creating more of what you want in the moment, and you just said it, and he said it too. You're using your joy as the fuel because I've seen one half of my life. I never knew about any of this stuff, but I was doing it right. I was just living with, oh no, I'll do this. And I would go haphazardly do it, but I just did stand-up comedy for the first time with no, preparation. And that's how I loved living. And then just different things happen. And all of a sudden, oh no, you have to be careful now. And you have to really watch your money now. And you have to be responsible now. And you have to, I hear you and I are a lot alike when I listen to you. And so what happened is that then responsibility or need to be very secure with money sort of turns into a negative. It turns into a fear of lack, even though you're being responsible. The note that you're playing, right? Because it's all frequency. The frequency you're playing, even though you have the best of intentions, is still low. So that's what's coming at you. So, oh, I want to make sure I don't have money and need to make money. You're all you're doing is asking the universe to give you more of no finances. You're just creating it by saying it. So like those small things that you flip to say, like for instance, I learned years ago, you don't say I don't want to be late. You say I'm on time. I'm glad I'm on time. Even if you're running really late, you say I'm on time. That's what starts to these are all things that shouldn't even matter because source comes first. So we did come here. We've forgotten that we are these powerful things. So we get caught in the intellect, which exactly as this other journalist said, is that's their biggest tool. And you can see with all the, oh, let me think about that. Oh, intellectual and all these high degrees that people get, and they can't think for themselves, you know. And everything he's saying is you have to, it's your heart, it's your heart and mind. There's more neurons that go from your heart to your brain than the other way around. Your heart actually communicates to your brain more than your brain communicates to your heart, which blew my mind. So everything is frequency. I know I'm going off on a million directions, but that's me. But getting back to, you stay in the moment and you use your joy. What makes you excited? What would you do if you, and say, I have a million things that I love to do. So that's where I get caught up. It's like, I love them all. So it's not like I'm focusing on anything negative. So this it is so simple. From the highest sources that I'm getting is that no one should ever even be talking about this. It's only because we've been so manipulated that we're having a hard time of getting out of our mind. So now I don't say, let me think about it. I say, let me feel about it. Or I say, oh, that was so feelful of you. Don't say that was thoughtful of you. Oh, that was so feelful of you. Right? Because our excitement, my joy is uncrushable. I've been through so many things and I'm like this happiest, like little puppy. Why? Because that's how I am. That's my true, and that we are all the same thing. We're all one source. We come back into little splinters. We all go, but you know. So this is very aligned exactly with all of the highest lessons that I'm hearing, because he said it was just so powerful that like it's something that you want. Oh, I need this money because I need to move in to give myself and my family this life. Like that is joyful, but you're concentrating on the money, and money is not a joy or a passion. So all you have to do is stop thinking of dollars or fiat or anything. And so, again, we've been created, you know, we've been hook, line, sinker to believe that you have to go and get these little trade your precious life and time to trade for, excuse me, cat, for these, as he says, little pieces of paper with triangles on them. It should make you think, wait a second, what am I doing? So as soon as I start thinking of how I can help other people, as soon as I start thinking of my joy, that's when things they fall into place. You have to stop thinking about like the end result. Anyway, whose interview is this? Only 2 cups of coffee. So tell me a little bit about your highest joy. Obviously, what you're doing right now, right? Because your joy was teaching, and then that's a double-ended sword, because you had that not only taken away from you, which is a great result now, but how? Yeah, tell me a little bit about that and your music.
So yeah, I lost my I was a public school teacher for 20 years,
Right.
and they decided, you know, they didn't want me to continue. So I really just pursued my joy, and I really teach more now than I did as a teacher.
Yeah.
It's just I teach what I want to teach, and I'm just having the time of my life. I'm totally dedicated to it. I've had to like reposition myself physically into a place where I can focus on my calling, on my videos and my community.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm living the life. I mean, it's never been better. The only thing I might want to say is that I don't think that like the pursuit of money necessarily has to be a negative thing. I think it's I mean,
Yes.
I always thought of it as a negative thing. I now feel like it's a good thing. I mean,
Yeah.
if you have money, you can do what you need to do.
Absolutely.
Um,
And they all these little sayings that they put out there, and they just hijack them a little bit, because it's not the money is the root of all evil, which they put in every movie and everything, so that people would get that in their brain and install that. It's actually the original quote, even all the original quotes are, who knows if they're original, is the love of money is the root of all evil. Putting that over something else. But if everything is energy, and that's what a lot of these great financial people who are also spiritual are saying. I've had Dr. Kia Pruitt on, right? You know her. She's been on uh, Mel Carmine. I'd love to have the three of you for a divine masculine feminine roundtable. Me, you, Dr. Kia Pruitt, and Mel Carmine. I mean,
He would probably be open to it. He's
that's
he's
so
a
great.
fabulous guy.
It's
He
so
was the
great.
first, yeah, he
He
was the
is.
first
I
person to
love
get
him. It's just so
yeah.
wonderful seeing everybody. It's like, this is the only way it works is when you're truly you, you know? Oh, well, I talk too much, so I have to, and the right people who are around me are saying, get rid of every bit of that. The only way you're going to align with the right people and do your passion is if you are truly yourself and be true to yourself, Yeah. So, that's just amazing. I can see you are having the time of your life. I don't know how I'm so busy and I'm just scrolling on Telegram, and my world is like a lot of hours on Telegram and research, and I am loving the whole executive orders and everything, not to tangent, but I think that that's the easiest way to explain anything. I want to make little cards, like trading cards, like, you know, with just 13848. And that says this, this, and this. Here you go. Go research, save us time in the restaurant. I want to get back to food. You say you have to go. What are you doing with the potatoes every day? What are you guys making every Sabbath? What do you
Well, I had to give up my potato schlepping job because I moved out of my home
Crown
from home,
Heights, right?
my home for 20 years, and I
Yeah.
moved away a bit, so I'm not around there, so I can't schlep potatoes. But yeah, we're I'm in a Jewish community here, and it's just fabulous to explore a new area. I'm like having, I'm in my 60s, and I'm like having this, I'm living like a teenager. I
I
mean, I'm
hear
just
you.
having the time of my life.
I absolutely hear you. I can see it. As I said, when I first discovered you only just, I don't know, a couple months ago, um, I just really loved your message. I loved your genuinity. I just loved your smile. You smiled, and it just broke my heart. And I was like, here's my crew. Yep. And then tuned in again because it really inspired me. I've been really trying to just say, this is my third podcast attempt. First one was before any of this was going on, and it was just comedy rocket radio. It was comedians and stuff like that. And then it was food, and I had like then I'm trying to put everything into like a cooking show. I was like, all right, I'm really just overcomplicating it all. And then now I was like, okay, you need to just speak up. And I heard you just speaking up, speaking from the heart. And then the next episode, I see you got a new microphone and headphones, and all of a sudden I could see how you just were, after probably what, 2 years of saying, all right, you've taken my life away from me, and now I'm going to do what I want. And it just surprised you and started growing like crazy, right? In the past couple, your reach to people has grown.
Yeah, I have about 50,000 subscribers now, which is amazing. Actually,
Great.
52,000. But the thing that I would say is very much in line with what you're saying, and that is that I heard somebody else say this. I heard his name is Aaron Dougherty, said that if you want to be a YouTuber, you should be a YouTuber. In other words, you do it. You do it every day. So
Yeah.
I took on that idea that whether I felt like it or not, that every morning I make a video, and that then people said, could you do a live? We figured out how to do a live show. And then people said, could you do it every day? And then it was twice. So now I do 2 live meetings a day, and I make a short video in the morning. And it's just like, and I get to play like I'm a frustrated musician. I'm a frustrated writer. I've never been able to really make money doing the things I love until now. And now it's just, but I think it's really, I would say that Aaron was really right, that if you want to do something, the key to it is to do it. and
Right.
just keep doing it and keep doing it until, and I've had all kinds of setbacks, but I just keep doing it. And
Exactly. Yeah. It's like that one thing is just setting up a restaurant, I work in the restaurant and it's like, no, you see, you have to do this with your work. Every day you clear the tables, you set the tables, there's a protocol. And since finding you, then I started doing the Eunice channel and just doing a video every day and keeping it daily doses. And now they're up there. And I haven't even told anybody, but I was like, I'm going to do this consistently. And I would just take a concept like, I'm trying to, I, we're all building this community. So you should suggest, and I suggest anybody doing videos. We need to all spread the word because there's so many people who will listen to one person for one reason or whatever. So I was like, let me just take something very simple that's not, you know, of this division of any political thing. So I'm like kind of going with the chakras and like, okay, everybody's afraid. If you're afraid, what's the one thing you could do is just go inside and go to your heart. And so I was like, maybe I'll just do. So I started like writing on this little rock with chalk outside of my backyard. I was like, here's me. Here's what we're talking about. Like, and it was always just two. And I did like 20 of them. Now I'm working at this thing and I'm like, good, I don't have to do videos anymore. That's not what I'm saying, but it hasn't, it was so relieving to me to do a video, and then it's all over the place like me, but that's what I am. And I would replay it and I was like, that's not okay. That's all right. And so now I've created this whole concept of no matter what situation you're in, where these are, usable tools and usable advice on how to move through this crazy world that we're going through and really understand that you are sovereign and you are powerful and we are all from source and we are all have untold powers. So there's so much to unpack, but if you could give people advice, my listeners, your listeners, advice on, you know, daily sovereignty, like uh, from a modern day, what do? You talk about this, just keep going, moving forward. What can people do? What can people do financially? What can people do in their community? I'm doing all this barter stuff, and I want to talk about that on with Jason Shirka as well, like all of these things to barter so that we can start moving away from, like, if someone is completely has no idea what's going on, what's one of the first things they can do? I know you have that blue bottle in the background there. That's something that's amazing for health, how we can
yeah,
replace these criminal
thanks
other.
for bringing it up. Yeah, this is a business that I just started, a side business. And if you come to my channel, um, Kabbalah Guru, let's see, Kabbalah Guru on YouTube. I have a link. You can call my people and ask them questions about it. But I think, the whole thing for me is to get, to do a job that's outside of the mainstream, to do a job where I'm not under the gun from somebody doesn't who doesn't really appreciate where I'm coming from.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's evolved that way just by intention. I mean, you just have to just really just keep doing it, do whatever it is that you love to do.
Yeah.
Even, and I would say in the beginning, I had to really struggle with the idea of success. I just felt like I could never succeed. I was destined to be a failure. And I listened to a lot of self-hypnotic tapes on the web to just get it programmed into my fiber
Mhm.
that I could be a success. I had to retrain my subconscious
You
and
do.
start
It's been,
thinking about success. And then, that's where it starts. That's where you plant your seeds. And then you just do and do and do.
absolutely, because as I was saying before, that energy toward money has to be love, has to be, why would you have a friend? Why would you be thinking of, if you want money and you're thinking of it negatively, how in the world is it ever going to align with you? It just can't. You have to really, really just, the biggest thing is truly to be yourself and to be in your joy. Tell me a little bit more about your joy of music and what kind of music and what you have originals and you've been playing, and who do you got in the background there? Who are your
Right. So
companions?
I started as a five-string banjo player in the
Cool.
I went to Nashville in the 70s, and also, but I've also been writing songs since the 70s, actually since the early 70s. And so I just continue to write songs, and it's a
That's
joy.
great. Yeah. What are some of your favorite? Because I do want, I'd love to talk about some of these projects, and maybe one would fit in somewhere or something.
Well, I have
What are some
right,
of the subjects? What are
right
some of
right now
the?
I'm working. Right, I have one song called "The Great Awakening." I
Mhm.
have one song called "Language of the Heart," and I have a new song called "The Winds of Jericho."
Uh-huh.
uh, Actually Yericho in Hebrew, but they're just they're just nice originals. They're kind of heartfelt, and I I really like to if you have a YouTube channel. I tried playing other people's materials, but you'll get strikes against you, copyright strikes. So you have to be careful not to play other people's music.
Right.
So I'm kind of forced to, which is really great for me because I'm a songwriter. So
Exactly. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
works out good. I mean, God really, God is really pushes you where you need to be. It's just you have to like develop a partnership. You have to be willing to to listen to his ever loving suggestions. In other words, he won't necessarily show you where you're gonna be doing this in 5 years. He's not going to show you that.
No, you could just feel it and you follow it. And it's like this, I just hated all of those growing up. Just let go and let God. And to me, as an analytical person, that sounds like, come on, that sounds like, but what it is, it takes a different time to hear things. And it's sort of like you have to just be in the field. You are the field on a quantum level. This is plasmantics. This is quantum consciousness before subconsciousness, before your consciousness, before your words and actions. It goes way before you even make any actions. You already know what you're doing. And knowing that you are God and that you're connected, or that you're part, and that it's not, even if you believe in God, it's not out there. It's right here. It's in your whole soul, your whole body. So I think it's very helpful for people to understand that um, so accessible, and you can try it and see it in action when you really just. Sometimes I've been under such stress and things, just going, no, I am in high vibration, I'm walking my dog. You have to almost have like amnesia. If you're going through something hard, you have to just keep going and not think about what's going on, and practice it for a block. Practice it for a one block and go, I am powerful and I am sovereign, and we're all love. We are all just the love frequency. And you start sending love to people, cars going by, someone wearing 4 masks in their car, no one's in it. And instead of going, you just go, oh, I love you, it's not someone's walking all over you. As soon as you connect to that, it just, everything starts showing up, starts. So my thing says here that I'm running out of time in 10 minutes. So it's going to give me another thing. Tell us a little bit about your amazing community, your Kabbalah Guru group on Telegram, and all the channels you have to help people and what they do.
Right. So we have two channels. I just want to say just briefly one quick thing, and that is getting past judgment. Get exactly what you were
Yeah.
saying. If you're not judging people, you're not judging yourself.
Right.
You can really experience godliness, in a direct way. But the community, we have a lot of Telegram channels. We have a Telegram channel if you're feeling lonely, if you don't have friends, you want to talk to somebody 24/7. We have a Telegram channel for finding friends in your area. We have two Intel channels where where all the community members share. We have a recent channel that I'm really promoting now, which is a prosperity channel where I'm encouraging people to come together and brainstorm together about ways to off grid to make a living, in a way that brings you joy. We also have a galactic technologies channel that talks about the med beds and where we're holding with the technology. But it's an amazing group of people, and they're I think they're very unusual in terms of communities, because they don't focus on the little details of the politics. They focus
No,
on
the
ascension
big picture.
and moving forward, and loving yourself and loving others, and
That's right.
moving into this new awakening.
That is exactly right. Because everybody is yourself. If you could see, the whole analogy of the water and the wave, that is like you are that person you might loathe. As soon as you can understand that you all can. I want to do, with the cooking, I've got to do like a pancake analogy. Here's the batter. This is source, right? You make the pancakes, right? What if we take the pancakes, you put it back in the batter, right? You make another thing. Now we added blueberries. It's all the same thing. It's the same thing. And it is such an exciting time we're moving into, because there's so much to know and understand, but you can test it immediately. You can test love and consciousness and true everything. It's the age of Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius. This is I have this whole bridge series. It's the bridgiest time of the world. We've never been through anything like this. I just really want to reach people who don't know anything that's going on, and just tell them everything is going to be fine. If it makes you afraid, it's the wrong thing. It's a lie. Nothing should make you afraid, because what's the worst that could happen? You could die. I've used to be afraid of death my whole life. Once you know that, wait a second, and I no, I'm not going to have to find a tunnel or I'll be infiltrated. I absolutely know in my heart now, especially through all of these channels of people removing all that fear and going, no, okay, well, what happens when I die? You decide what you want to do next. And I go, oh, you know what? That absolutely resonates with me. I believe that. And so there's nothing and that is what any enemy doesn't want you to have is no fear, love, sovereignty. My whole mission is high vibration sovereignty, because you can't be manipulated when you're in the love vibration. Michael Jaco talks about his CIA operations, where he would go in and they would pray, they would send love to the men that they were about to take, to go to war with, because that's higher. That beats all of it. Yes, you have the gung ho in war, but to hear this very masculine man, this is another thing I'd really love to have you back, Ellie, to talk about divine masculine, divine feminine. It's just so exciting. I can't get to enough of it. It's going to give me like a little warning. But do you have any advice for, the boys and girls, teenagers, go right now? You're not able to speak with your students anymore, but if one of your students who is 15 or 17 years old said, listen, I'm confused, am I supposed to be masculine, am I supposed to protect a woman, am I supposed to not ask her if she's a woman, am I supposed to be, what am I supposed to do? I can imagine that boys right now are so confused about masculinity, and the girls are confused, but I think they're easier to figure everything out, what's going on. What's your advice to young boys going into this very amazing new world? How do you want to ask them to lead? Or
I mean, it's a complex issue, but I think that, I mean, for me, I just look at myself. I'm in a discovery mode, and I'm really finding in my relationship with friends who are women that I can be a guy, and it's not, in the 70s and 80s and 90s, it was kind of like you wanted to be kind of a gushy guy, you wanted to be like, easy, and like be able to identify with the feminine side in order to create a relationship with a woman. But now I'm really like, I work out. I've really taken a whole different turn in my life, and I really enjoy. I like to stand up like a man, and it's
yeah,
and the ladies that I'm around, they like it. They like being that I can be manly, and
mm-hmm.
and that they can relax and be women.
Right, absolutely. And we have to, I mean, Dr. Kia Pruitt she's so brilliant, and I can't wait to talk to her more about it. because she really addresses a lot of things that I just didn't know about, that,
How you
like
doing
the
with
whole,
time? I'm worried for you because I'm a time
yeah, it
nudge.
says time left 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, so I think we
Yeah,
should probably
yep,
wrap
gonna
it.
wrap it up. So that's what I was saying, is that she just really hit it on the head, and you did too there. I mean, it's a more complicated issue, but we are, I mean, everything about genders is just in the 3D world. When you forget all of that and you just be you, it's sort of like, if it's, I always say, there shouldn't even, it's fear not, respect all and fear none. Those are two things to live by. If you just do the first one, you don't have the second one. If you have, I'm so absolutely overwhelmed to be part of this incredible transition. I mean, I thought that I just had to deal with, okay, this world is this horrible, and why is it this horrible? And no, it was created that way intentionally, so that makes sense. And I am so glad to have you on my channel, and talking to my new listeners. And anything else you'd like to leave us with? What's a precious metal or currency suggestion?
Yeah, I mean, I think people should own physical silver. I think it's
Mhm.
a good hedge against the destruction of currency right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I think in general, just just do whatever you can. And
absolutely.
yeah, I feel like you're about I'm a time
I
nudge.
am. I'm going to thank you once again and sign off. And everybody, please check out all the channels. I'll put everything in the description below. Eli Webber, thank you very, very much. What a wonderful drive-by interview.
My
Keep
pleasure,
up the
Aaron.
great work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.